Good evening and welcome back to another episode of The Longing, where today we are once again going to be continuing to read the Iliad by Homer. So, let's get going. Behold the god whose liquid arms are hurled around the globe, whose earthquakes rock the world. Desists at length his rebel war to wage, seeks his own seas, and trembles at our rage. Else had my wrath heaven's thrones all shaking round, burned to the bottom of his seas profound. And all the gods that roam old Saturn dwell had heard the thunders to the deeps of hell. Well was the crime and well the vengeance spared, even power immense had found such battle hard. Go thou, my son, the trembling Greeks alarm, shake my broad aegis on thy active arm. Be godlike Hector thy peculiar care, swell his bold heart and urge his strength to war. Let Ilion conquer till the Achaean train fly to their ships and Hellespont again. Then Greece shall breathe from toils, the Godhead said. His will divine the son of Jove obeyed. Not half so swift the sailing falcon flies, that drives the turtle through the liquid skies. As Phoebus shooting from the Idaean brow, glides down the mountain to the plain below. There Hector seated by the stream he sees, his sense returning with the coming breeze. Again his pulses beat, his spirits rise, again his loved companions meet his eyes. Jove, thinking of his pains, they passed away, to whom the god who gives the golden day. Why sits great Hector from the field so far? What grief, what wound withholds thee from the war? The fainting hero, as the vision bright stood shining o'er him, half unsealed his sight. What blessed immortal with commanding breath thus wakens Hector from the sleep of death? Has fame not told how while my trusty sword bathed Greece in slaughter, and her battle gored? The mighty Ajax with a deadly blow had almost sunk me to the shades below. Even yet methinks the gliding ghosts I spy, and hell's black horrors swim before my eye. To him Apollo be no more dismayed, see and be strong, the Thunderer sends thee aid. Behold thy Phoebus shall his arms employ, Phoebus propitious still to thee and Troy. Inspire thy warriors then with manly force, and to the ships impel thy rapid horse. Even I will make thy fiery coursers way, and drive the Grecians headlong to the sea. Thus to bold Hector spoke the son of Jove, and breathed immortal ardour from above. As when the pampered steed with reins unbound breaks from his stall and paws along the ground, with ample strokes he rushes to the flood, to bathe his sides and cool his fiery blood. His head now freed, he tosses to the skies, his mane dishevelled o'er his shoulders flies. He snuffs the females in the well-known plain, and springs exulting to his fields again. Urged by the voice divine, thus Hector flew, full of the god, and all his hosts pursue. As when the force of men and dogs combined invade the mountain goat or branching hind, far from the hunter's rage secure they lie, close in the rock, not fated yet to die. When lo, a lion shoots across the way, they fly at once, the chasers and the prey. So Greece that late in conquering troops pursued, and marked their progress through the ranks in blood. Soon as they see the furious chief appear, forget to vanquish and consent to fear. Thoas with grief observed his dreadful course, Thoas the bravest of the Catolian force, skilled to direct the javelin's distant flight, and bold to combat in the standing fight, not more in counsels famed for solid sense, than winning words and heavenly eloquence. Gods, what portent, he cried, these eyes invades? Lo, Hector rises from the Stygian shades. Excuse me, a sneeze appeared. We saw him late by thundering Ajax killed. What god restores him to the frighted field? And not content that half of Greece lie slain, pours new destruction on her sons again. He comes not, Jove, without thy powerful will. Lo, still he lives, pursues and conquers still. Yet hear my counsel and his worst withstand. The Greeks his main body to the fleet command. But let the few whom brisker spirits warm stand the first onset and provoke the storm. Thus point your arms, and when such foes appear, fierce as he is, let Hector learn to fear. The warrior spoke, the listening Greeks obey, thickening their ranks and form a deep array. Each Ajax Teucer Merion gave command, the valiant leader of the Cretan band. And Mars like Meges these chiefs excite, approach the foe and meet the coming fight. Behind unnumbered multitudes attend, to flank the navy and the shores defend. Excuse me. Full on the front the pressing Trojans bear, and Hector first came towering to the war. Phoebus himself the rushing battle led, a veil of clouds involved his radiant head. High held before him Jove's enormous shield, portentous shone and shaded all the field. Vulcan to Jove the immortal gift consigned, to scatter hosts and terrify mankind. The Greeks expect the shock, the clamours rise from different parts and mingle in the skies. Dire was the hiss of darts by heroes flung, and arrows leaping from the bowstring sung. These drink the life of generous warriors slain, those guiltless fall and thirst for blood in vain. As long as Phoebus bore unmoved the shield, sat doubtful conquest hovering o'er the field. But when aloft he shakes it in the skies, shouts in their ears and lightens in their eyes. Deep horror seizes every Grecian breast, their force is humbled and their fear confessed. So flies a herd of oxen scattered wide, no swain to guard them and no dade to guide. When two fell lions from the mountain come, and spread the carnage through the shady gloom, impending Phoebus pours around them fear, and Troy and Hector thunder in the rear. Heaps fall on heaps, the slaughter Hector leads. First great Arcesilas, then Stychius bleeds. One to the bold Boeotians ever dear, and one Menestheus's friend and famed compeer. Medon and Iasus Cneus sped, this sprang from Phelus and the Athenians led. But hapless Medon from Oileus came, him Ajax honoured with a brother's name. Though born of lawless love from home expelled, a banished man in Phylace he dwelled, pressed by the vengeance of an angry wife. Troy ends at last his labours and his life. Mecistes next Polydamas overthrew, and thee brave Clonius great Agenor slew. By Paris Diocus inglorious dies, pierced through the shoulder as he basely flies. Polites' arm laid Echius on the plain, stretched on one heap, the victors spoil the slain. The Greeks dismayed, confused, disperse or fall. Some seek the trench, some skulk behind the wall. While these fly trembling, others pant for breath, and o'er the slaughter stalks gigantic death. On rushed bold Hector, gloomy as the night, forbids to plunder, animates the fight. Points to the fleet, for by the gods who flies, 240, who dares but linger by the eyes. No weeping sister his cold eye shall close, no friendly hand his funeral pyre compose. Who stops to plunder at this signal hour, the birds shall tear him and the dogs devour. Furious, he said, the smarting scourge resounds, the coursers fly, the smoking chariot bounds. The hosts rush on, loud clamours shake the shore, the horses thunder, earth and ocean roar. Apollo planted at the trench's bound, pushed at the bank, down sank the enormous mound. Rolled in the ditch the heapy ruin lay, a sudden road along an ample way. O'er the dread fosse, a late impervious space, now steeds and men and cars tumultuous pass. The wondering crowds the downward level trod, before them flamed the shield and marched the god. Then with his hand he shook the mighty wall, and lo, the turrets nod, the bulwarks fall. Easy as when ashore an infant stands, and draws imagined houses in the sands. The sportive wanton, pleased with some new play, sweeps the slight works and fashioned domes away. Thus vanished at thy touch the towers and walls, the toil of thousands in a moment falls. And with that we finally come to the end of the episode. There was quite a long set of pages there, so thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon or night. No matter what time of day it is, I hope you all have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we will be back tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.